Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our BNI San Diego podcast. I'm your host, Ed Wilson, the Executive Director for BNI San Diego, and I'm here with Andy Cruz of Cruz Productions. How's it going, my friend?
Good. I'm excited to have you here. This is your first time here.
Very first time, beyond excited.
Not my
really
first time.
Excited.
Not my first time talking to you about it, but
No.
I'm like, this has been exciting for me to
in the
plan
stage, branded well. It's like awesome.
Yeah, lots of red in this room today.
There's a lot of red in the room today.
I like it though.
So, Andy, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, there's actually a lot of different things to talk about. A lot of different things to talk about. I'm not sure exactly where we should start because I know there's been a number of conversations recently that have kind of come up around just some more regional things, but then also some member-specific things. So I think maybe we take them in that order.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I think we should talk about first is I know you've recently announced to the region that we're going to have regional mentoring program now.
Correct.
But we also still have our
chapter
mentor coordinators in the chapter at that level. So I know because I've been able to listen to you and to Ray and the rest of the team talk about this and really inform and educate us on that. But I want to actually take a minute to talk about the value and benefits of that for even existing and long-term members, not just our new members. So can we kind of talk just the formula really quick? What's regional mentoring? Why do we go to regional mentoring? And then let's talk about some of the benefits of that.
Well, and I would, if it's okay, I'd even like to go a step further on what's the purpose of mentoring?
Okay.
Right? Because we've got to, really starting with the why, as Simon Sinek says. I'm sure it's up here somewhere. Right? What's the purpose when you think of mentoring, and I know you've been the mentor and you've been the mentee over your life. When you think of mentoring, what do you think of? What's the purpose of it?
Being coached and trained to do the most optimal things as often as possible.
By whom?
By someone who's been there and done that.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it. Been there, done that, right? And that's the goal. We want to be able to, with our regional mentoring program, obviously our chapters have our mentoring program. Every chapter has a mentoring program with a mentor coordinator or two that come alongside our new members. Kind of it's that on-ramp, so that instead of, what's the purpose of an on-ramp? The purpose of an on-ramp is so that you don't immediately go into traffic and cause an accident. Right, you've got to get up to speed.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the traffic driver guy that's like, I'm going to get up to speed as quickly as possible because honestly, people going ahead of me a little slower make me a little nervous. Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to draw a strong correlation to that, but there is something to be said about being at the same speed as the traffic on the freeway as quickly as possible. And
then there's a whole nother conversation about us as men wanting to win the race and we've got to be ahead of everyone, that kind of thing. But we won't go there.
Yeah. I think I'm admitting I just drive fast. I think is that what happened right now?
That's it.
Like, yeah, Andy drives fast.
Oh,
I accidentally said when you're like cruising down the freeway at 90 the other day, I meant 65. I'd like to retract that statement.
So as we get up to speed, we want to bring our new referral partners, our new members, the people that are coming into the chapter. We want to engulf them, and one of our sayings is radical inclusion. Right? We want to bring them in. We want to get them included. We want to come alongside them. We want to prepare them for success. And what we've seen, we have chapters who have phenomenal mentoring programs, and they're doing really, really well. And then we have chapters that are doing okay. And then there are chapters that when you ask mentoring program, they go, what's that?
What is that?
Right? So we've got the kind of the gamut. What we realized in some conversations with some of our leaders, some of our area directors, and some of our team was it's better to have a consistent message, having fewer voices giving the same message over and over to all of our new people that come into BNI.
Yeah, I think that there's like a sweet spot for homogeneous kind of information.
What's that word?
Like everything's the same.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So to homogenize something, it's kind of equivalent everywhere. This is not a milk reference. So for those of you who are lactose intolerant to lactose podcasts, this is not one. You're good. No, because it's not uniformity for the sake of uniformity. It's because if we know something works right, then I want everybody to know what works right.
Best practices.
If there's a best practice or something that we've just seen that's been proven to generate success.
Yeah, that formula.
That stood the test of time inside BNI, then we want everyone to know that. And it's like, yeah, duh, that makes sense. That seems so elementary. But then the execution of that is where where it can potentially falter, where we either have people that can with excellence deliver that message, or with some kind of, I'll say mediocrity, to be honest. Let's just be honest. Sometimes that message doesn't get across as well as it could.
So our founder, Dr. Ivan Meisner, talks about the leaky bucket syndrome, right? Which is what?
Information goes in and a bunch of it leaks out. By the time you get to the bottom, there's not that much left.
Yeah. So by the time it gets to the person, it's been what's the word? What's that word?
Like modified or filtered, or it's like a telephone game where it starts this way over here. Then by the time it gets to the person, it's like a whole different message. Yeah.
And our goal from the regional level is to make sure that people are getting a consistent message to help them with their success.
Yeah. I can understand where maybe earlier in the history of BNI, there's still some figuring it out happening, right?
Yeah.
Year 5, year 10, maybe even 15. You can maybe convince me at year 20. They're still trying to figure some stuff out. But like, honestly, 40 years in now, there's things that we've just become okay with accepting as true. And I mean, we're sitting here and there's all these like books.
Yep.
Like these books, whatever they're teaching, they espouse that the thing they're saying is true.
Correct.
And has kind of stood the test of time. There's not actually a single book up here that is like super time sensitive.
Yeah.
They reference time and they reference windows of certain things economically or business wise, or maybe like patterns and themes of things. But like the principle of building trust, trust is still required in the marketplace.
Always.
It's not like that's changed all of a sudden. So for me, like the mentoring here in BNI San Diego is mostly about how can we make sure that the density of information is shared with everybody at that excellent level, so that then they have the best chance of walking it out on their side of it as best they can.
Well, and we want people to be successful as quickly as possible, because the quicker they are in their success, the more that they're going to engage into the room, the more that they're going to partake. If it takes a while, and let's face it, there are classifications that take longer to get to what we in BNI call profitability, right? We go through visibility to credibility over to profitability, and some classifications take longer than others. But if we can help speed up that success, and one of the ways that we're doing it, or we're seeing it done, is through our regional mentoring program, which just recently started. We've just actually within the last 2 weeks have had our first 2 of the 5 mentoring sessions, and they went phenomenal.
Yeah, the thing I'm most excited about is the consolidation of the ideas, and I will also say that I have seen a tremendous amount of creative ideas throughout the county since I first started BNI in 2009, and so it's not that there's like a lack of ideas, and we needed them all to congregate at the headquarter level, if you will, but more so, how can we achieve an earlier success for newer members? But then I'm going to be honest too about how can we revitalize some of our members who've been here a long time. Like, I mean, I just kind of said, I've been here since 2009. First of all, it doesn't mean you know everything. That's more of a comment from me than anyone else, if you happen to be listening. But also, it sometimes you got to go back around.
Ooh.
Like, I've done MSP at this point, I want to say 3 or 4 times. And when I was like a teaching director, I was teaching MSP.
Learning,
Even having taught MSP, there's still things where, that's right, I got to do that element still. Mm-hmm. And then I go, why did I stop doing that? I don't even know why I stopped doing that thing. So it's not out of like arrogance or prior ego that we stop doing things that work in BNI because we've been in BNI a long time. Sometimes, honestly, we get a little complacent. Sometimes we get comfortable. Sometimes we just forget. Sometimes we just do our notes and we put them away. And we never like dust them off and pull them back out again. Man, when I've done that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember sitting in class and I wrote that. I remember writing that. And then my mind just forgets that I had done that, right?
Well, so, have you ever had those moments where you kind of look back and go, when did I stop doing the things that made me successful?
Yes, but I think the trick is as we get older and we get more long in the tooth in our BNI experience, is that happens less and less, and it's less frequent that that's the case. There's this funny term I learned many years ago. It's actually a church term. Is I'm a quicker repenter than I used to be. So it's like the same kind of the BNI corollary would be, I do less of the forgetting less often, and for less duration of time. So in this case, though, I know that we have a really high retention rate with members after the first year, especially after the second year. It's extremely high, and broadly that's because it's working for people.
Yeah.
And I know that, candidly, there's some turnover in that first 12 months, that first 24 months, because Everyone joins BNI for some sort of the same reason. I'm looking to grow my business through quality word of mouth referrals and building trust with people and being trusted myself. So we all came here for the same reason. We have a variety of different experiences, and then people choose to stay or they don't. So I'm excited about the mentoring program for that reason for our more tenured members, because there's some things I probably got to get the rust off my joints a little bit and do a little better even myself.
In 4 months, I will be celebrating my 20th anniversary in BNI.
Oh my gosh.
And there's stuff I forget all the time.
Yeah.
And it's that thing. I was just doing something recently, and I realized that where I learned something a while ago, if I don't use it on a regular basis, I'm going to forget it.
Right.
And so going back to those, as Dr. Meisner talks about, going back to the basics is, I think we need to do that periodically.
Yeah. My entire word for 2024 was simplify. How can I simplify everything? Not out of the case of, I feel like I'm wasting my time. It was more of an exercise in business maturity for myself, is how can I take what I'm doing and simplify it? And I know that the folks in our area, they're doing things that are way more complicated than I'm doing. I mean, even in the setting we're sitting in right now, we simplified this so you walk in and we start. Yeah. It's not like you walk in, I'm still plugging things in, and where's this light going to go? It's turnkey.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like by hand and force that it's like I pigeonhole myself into needing to accomplish simplification in every facet of what I do for Cruz Productions and what I do in BNI.
Yeah.
So even as the current president, I'm like, how can I simplify my role? There's a lot of things I got to hit in the meeting elements. There's a lot of things that are happening, a lot of things that can change week by week. Number of visitors, who's speaking, whether you have subs or don't have subs, whether you're doing induction, whether you don't, whether there's a director coming or there's not. Like, there's just a couple things. But that ability to run everything through the simplification filter is also why I'm excited about the mentoring program, because simplifying it at the regional level for the new members gives uniformity to the message, and not to mention it's going to help them in their traffic lights, because guess what? There's CEUs attached to this.
Wait, what are traffic lights? Are you talking the power?
I meant
power of one report.
For those of you who are just meeting me for the first time, if you are really upset about the power of one report, you can blame me, because I was partially responsible for bringing that to BNI San Diego back in the day. We beta tested it here with Tim Roberts, and Catherine said, yeah, go for it.
Let's go.
And I was like, I'll do it. Famous last words. And here we have Power of One. We have it everywhere now. But sorry. If you dislike Power of One, you can send your hate email to Andy at, no, I'm just kidding.
and to your point, we have put things in place over the years, and we're constantly, I don't want to say reinventing, but we're constantly innovating.
It's refining.
Right? Innovating, refining, getting it better, doing, failing forward, so to speak, so that we can help people. Again, just in another month, it'll be 5 years since COVID. And
that's crazy.
During that time, 5 years ago, watching people stay in business, watching people thrive in business while you drive down the street and every other business was going out of business.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that what we've been doing over the years is working. Now it's refining. Now it's making things better. How do we simplify it, to your point?
Well, and I know that I know that other people also know that there are some businesses that are still in business because of BNI.
Yes.
And BNI was the thing that allowed them to stay open as a business, even if they were told they couldn't be open in physical location, whatever. I've heard that time and time again. Yeah. So I know that that's true too. I wanted to make sure that we actually dig into some of the specifics. So can I run through some of the things that people should expect with the mentoring program? So first of all, this little housekeeping note, if you were not aware that you are accredited for this new mentoring, you get 2 CEUs per session. So there's 2 CEUs per session, and the sessions are optimizing one-to-ones. Yep. We have navigating the power of one report, referrals versus leads, and BNI Connect and Business Builder apps. And there's, of course, a lot of other things that are connected to that. But it essentially takes these, what would potentially take months and months and months of mentoring.
10 sessions with 10 different people, depending on their schedules. It could, as you said, it could take months and months and months. We're still having them do their one-to-ones in the chapter with those 10 people, we're just shrinking the amount of time that it takes to get you through it. I mean, literally, someone can get it done in 4 weeks.
Yeah, and so it's a consolidation of that.
Yeah.
And they're all each 1 hour, correct?
1 hour. Yeah.
So the way I kind of had framed this in my mind is like when you go to Member Success Program, you kind of like you have like your regular Disney, right?
Yeah.
And then this is Disney Plus.
Yeah.
This is just that little extra thing that you're going to receive CEU credits for, but also even more important than CEUs. I'm only dropping that because, we love getting our credit where credit is due in BNI. So I'm attending a class, I want my CEUs, right, Ed? But the reason I mention that is because for you for you members who've been around a long time, this is a CEU activity. But again, think beyond the CEU. I'm specifically talking to you members who've been around a long time. Think way beyond the CEU and what it means to your rating on the Power of One report. Think about what you can take back from that and apply it into your membership for the success of your Thank You for Closed business personally. I'm going to ask you to suspend the giver's gain for a moment when it comes to yourself, because yes, you're going to give and you give referrals and you give value, do a great presentation and do all the cool stuff. But I'm going to say, take this with the lens of what it does for you at the you level for your company and your business. If you're still around right now and you've been to BNI 5 years, 10 years, 15 years or more, what can you still learn now or reapply that's going to help you excel in 2025?
Yeah, as you said, giver's gain is our core, our cornerstone core value. There are times, though, when I believe, and you just said it, where we need to be a little selfish. And we need to think about us and how it impacts us in the chapter. But what I love about these sessions and the things that we're learning in BNI and from the people around us is once we leave, we leave our BNI chapter on that morning or that afternoon, and we walk out the door and we walk into the door of our business, we can apply these exact same elements throughout our own business. And it's the same way with the mentoring program, right? Where the session that I do, I'm actually doing session D. It's the 4th session, and mine is on one-to-ones and Gold Club, right? The Gold Star experience, right? Helping our members learn how to invite. And it's interesting. Last week we did a phenomenal podcast on the topic of prospecting for customers through inviting. What a fantastic topic.
Yeah. And a lot of times, we have people who are potential visitors in our business every day or every week where, maybe they provide a service to us in the business-to-business capacity, or maybe they're our business next door neighbor or in the business park we're in, or I pay the other business to do something for me, like paying the commercial cleaner around here. Why aren't they in my room? Right. So things like that. How come the guy who does our window washing at this building doesn't come to my meeting? Like, I need to invite that guy, right? So it's those things. And, it's easy, I'm going to say, for us to sit here and be, oh yeah, of course this is great for new members. Like, yes, the quicker you can get you on the on-ramp, the quicker we can get you up to speed to where BNI is flowing for you and you have an early win and sustained wins time and time again. That's ultimately the sweet spot. And this is going to be a way where the range of mentoring experience is narrowed in an unnarrow way, in a highly concentrated, dense, without a lot of excess type of way that sometimes we get out of the creative solutions that we as members bring to the table that are sometimes effective and sometimes they're ineffective, I'll be honest. There's things I've tried, I'm like, oh, that doesn't work. And I end up going back to the things that are tried and true, stand the test of time, and doesn't matter what season it is in BNI, it still works because it works.
Well, because we're always trying to innovate.
Yeah,
that's just who we are as professionals.
So for those of you who are specifically listening to this episode, you can go to bnisd.com and you can find out more about the regional mentoring program. Go to the
calendar. Yeah, go to the calendar.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Go to bnisd.com, go to our calendar and look for regional mentoring sessions. There's A, B, C, D, and E, 5 sessions. Go through them. You can go through them in order, or you can go through them in whatever week is going on. But we do them literally every single month from here on out.
Yeah. So I have kind of one comment with 2 kind of points. So the whole comment is engagement at the mentor and the member level. And here's my point A, point B. So if you are the mentor coordinator for your chapter, go through the program. You're going to go through it for yourself to see what's being taught at the regional level so that you know exactly word for word the things that you can be reminding, embodying, and emulating at your chapter level with your new member. And for those new members. And new members, invite your mentor coordinator to go with you. If you guys can attend it together, that's going to be even better, because then when you do your weekly meeting, you will also have recently have come from some sort of regional mentoring training that you can both adopt and infuse into that chapter experience with everybody else.
Oh my God. And even give a little testimonial in the chapter on what you learned in that session.
Yeah, absolutely.
We actually had at one of our last sessions last week, we actually had a mentor coordinator, exactly what you said. A mentor coordinator came in with one of the mentees, and it was great to have them both. And I am doing the session and I'm learning along with them, because it's a conversation. We're talking back and forth. They're asking questions that are making me think, right off the cuff. So it's a win-win all the way around.
Yeah. All right. So you have any final nuggets of knowledge or words of thought about the regional mentoring program before we wrap up today's episode?
Honestly, just get it done. Just do it. Just engage. Just like if when you're investing your time, look at the things that are going to give you the most, what's the term, dividends?
Yeah.
That's going to produce the most dividends. This is one of those. This and the next portion of that, which is member success program training. Those two, regional mentoring program and member success program training, are your keys to really unlocking your success in BNI.
Yeah. Get that early win early, and then have them sustained for as long as you can.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah. Learn our best practices, run with it, invest your time, build the relationships, and be here for the next 20 plus years.
Yeah. Just like you have been and will be. So
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to 20 more.
What month is that again?
June 5th is my 20th anniversary. And 7 days ago, on February 9th, was my 9th anniversary as the executive director in BNI San Diego.
Wow. That time has passed quick. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Andy, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you. And for our listeners, thank you for joining us today. We look forward to having you back with us next week with another amazing guest. Again, enjoy, build relationships. From those relationships are going to come a lot of referrals. Thank you for joining us.
This episode of the BNI San Diego podcast has been brought to you by Cruz Productions, a San Diego-based video production company and proud BNI member. You can find us at the intersection where business and creativity meet, or online at cruzproductionsinc.com.